Bitcoin 4,000, another all-time high. Microsoft releases Ethereum-based protocol Coco and the blockchain in real estate. That's in today's crypto market report. Plus, we're going to also take a look at the technical chart levels of Ethereum and Bitcoin. 4,332 is the price set today in Bitcoin, a new all-time high with a $70 billion market cap. The record-breaking price levels let us know that money is coming into the market that had been held back on the sidelines, pending the uncertain outcome of the split of the Bitcoin network, which resulted in the new cryptocurrency Bitcoin Cash, which incidentally today is now being traded on the Polynex exchange. Investment banks are talking crypto. Fidelity says the blockchain technology will change the world, and it already has, that's for sure. Goldman to institutional investors, don't ignore Bitcoin. An analyst for Goldman Sachs said yesterday that Bitcoin can shoot as high as 4,800. Those comments did come as the crypto is setting new all-time highs, and you have to wonder if Goldman is now trying to tell their institutional investors to buy, whether or not we're looking to set a new top around the $5,000 level. Around that level, look for a lot of investors to be taking profits and to pushing money into different alternative cryptocurrencies. Microsoft is going Ethereum. The giant $56 billion US-based company released the Ethereum-based protocol Coco. Their CTO over at Microsoft Azure, the company's cloud computing arm, did say that Coco presents an alternative approach to ledger construction, giving enterprise the scalability, disrupted governance, and enhanced confidentiality they need without sacrificing the inherent security and immutability they expect. We're also going to take a look at the blockchain in real estate, because you can now buy a fraction of a house or office building. And then lastly, we'll take a look at the charts. The price of Ethereum looks to be trading onward and upward. And over the past week, it's looked especially strong, except maybe for today. We will take a look at the technicals in a moment together. But first, let's look at the fundamentals, because the fundamentals right now are really exciting. Microsoft has released today the protocols for Coco. Now, one of the most unique aspects of the Coco framework is that it leverages local hardware-based environments, such as Intel's trusted execution environments, to facilitate the settlement of information in an off-chain Ethereum blockchain ecosystem. Now, many people are speculating that if Ethereum could get their transactions processed much faster, to over 1 million transactions per second, the price of Ethereum is expected to catapult over to the $2,000 level. Ethereum investors have been waiting for some news out of the Ethereum Alliance that's supposed to be able to transform Ethereum into the Amazon web-based service of the future. Amazon's AWS is $1 billion giant. And the announcement between the co-venture of several of the largest US tech companies, including Microsoft, Intel, and banks like JP Morgan, coincided with the massive run-up we saw of Ethereum earlier this year, with taking it over $400 level. Then we saw the price dump down to the $190 level before the Bitcoin fork, and is now back trading almost up to the 300 level. Some are speculating that if the network on Ethereum is able to process 1 million transactions a second, it could potentially boost the value of the Ether tokens past 2,000, trading right now at 295. And in an announcement, Microsoft, a key partner in the alliance, released the confidential consortium Coco framework, which is an Ethereum-based protocol that could revolutionize how companies use the Ethereum protocol for business applications, because the Coco framework improves scalability, or the network's ability to process a high volume of transactions, while also continuing to improve privacy, which is important to business. And it accomplishes the faster transactions and scalability by doing what's called an off-chain structure, or for running distributed applications. These off-chain structures, also known as side chains, are crucial to allowing the Ethereum network to someday process the millions of transactions a second. Also exciting on the Ethereum network, which seems to be right now the blockchain that continues to disrupt the traditional models of business, is in investments with the crowdfunding and smart contracts real. Now, the idea of investing in real estate used to involve having large sums of money in order to buy property, usually near where a person lives. However, crowdfunding gives you the ability to go ahead and be able to invest in either rental property or residential property through crowdfunding, and that's now moving over to the blockchain where you can buy a fraction of a house. Real estate investing comes with the possibility of rent and appreciation of property, both reliable and consistent sources of income. Now, Real's belief is that the use of their blockchain using Ethereum smart contracts and digital currencies or their own token can help remove the problems of the small investor being able to get into these type of investments. Real tokens will be used to invest in properties on their own crowdfunding platform. Now let's take a look at the charts. We're going to see what's going on with the technicals after reviewing the fundamentals of the market. Let's start with the Bitcoin versus the US dollar, and we can see over here that ever since we've broken out during the completion of the fork, we've seen a lot of buying interest in Bitcoin, more so than most other cryptocurrencies, and it is taking Bitcoin to new highs, trading right now above 4,000. What we're looking here now is this area over here around 3,100 is the near time support. So as long as that holds, the uptrend towards 5,000 should now continue strong. If we do get a test of this area around 3,100 and a break, the next line of support and major support will be in the 2,800 level, and that needs to hold for the long-term uptrend to be and hold in place. And now let's take a look at Bitcoin in real time, and you can see after spiking above the 4,000 and then coming back down to test it, Bitcoin is maintaining these new highs, and there's a lot of momentum behind this, a lot of technical, fundamental, as well as emotional momentum behind this, as people have the fear of missing out. And you're seeing a lot of rise in Bitcoin right now, and not so much in other alternative cryptocurrencies. And I think the main reason for that is people see that Bitcoin is on a shot right now towards 5,000 level, and they don't want to miss out on that. It's a further 20% up. So they'd rather, knowing that that's coming, they'd rather be invested in Bitcoin. And once Bitcoin takes out or tests that $5,000 level, then we should see a lot of profits being taken off of Bitcoin and going into alternative currencies and seeing them rise as little as well. Now let's take a look at Ethereum, which is trading above 300 right now, is really important. We see some great fundamental news today with Microsoft releasing the Coco protocol, which should definitely see continued buying interest, especially later this week when Ethereum is traded on the Bitstamp exchange. You should see an extension of this buying interest in Ethereum. Right here, this 246 price level is critical on the current uptrend in Ethereum, and if that level breaks, we're going to see a sharp fall, probably all the way down to this 190 price level. But as long as this 246 area holds, we should see continued strength and buying in Ethereum, especially now with the good fundamental news. And also, looking at Ethereum real time, you can see that it's having trouble here holding the psychological level of 300. And that's coming with the fundamental news today out of the Ethereum Alliance and Microsoft releasing the Ethereum-based protocol Coco. So that's telling that we may see a pullback on Ethereum. And that pullback should first come down to this 246. And that pullback should come around towards that level over here, around 246. That should be support. And it would be healthier if it could hold this little support up here around 270. But it looks like since it wasn't able to hold any of the highs today, that we are seeing a slight pullback. And if you were to draw a trend line from here on Ethereum, you would see that it could pull out into this, test this lower range here. And if it trades down to 270, that will also be trading off of this trend line support, and that would be really healthy. A break of that line, a break of this trend line, which is now at 270, will send the price down to test the $246 level.